Okay, so I've always been fascinated about what separates the good from the truly great, the champions of the world. What makes someone excel past the rest and stay composed when the spotlight hits? Today we're going to break down 3 quotes from the current UFC middleweight champion, Dricus du Plessis. He's a modern-day gladiator whose mindset holds value far beyond the cage. And in case you're new here, my name's Dante. I study timeless wisdom from books, history, and the real doers of the world, then break it down in ways that are simple, practical, and hard to forget. If you're the kind of person that wants to live a deeper and more intentional life, then you're in the right place. Let's dive in.
It doesn't fuel me.
Yeah.
I fuel myself. I don't thrive on proving people wrong. I only thrive on proving people right. Those that believe in me.
Now, you've probably felt this before, that I'll show them energy. Anger can sometimes masquerade as motivation, but it burns hot and it burns fast. That's why this quote hit me so hard. It's not about revenge, it's about gratitude. When you climb the mountain just to prove someone else wrong, you reach the top and realize that you're all alone. You climbed for them. But when you're climbing for the people that believe in you, that win becomes something that you can share. I remember something that my old boss and a real mentor of mine once said. He had just received this very prestigious award, and I went to congratulate him. And he said to me, "I share it with those around me who made me better." I'll never forget that. And that mindset is exactly what Dricus is talking about.
Being humble is not believing in your own hype. Being humble is showing up every day and working to be the best, not just saying I'm the best or I can make all that promise all day. You are cocky and you're arrogant if you don't put in the work. And the only way for me honoring my flag, my country, is by showing up every day and working my ass off to make sure that we keep this belt.
This one really made me pause. I used to think that being humble was about avoiding the limelight and sort of staying quiet, almost making yourself small. But Dricus sort of reframed humility, not as a posture, but as a practice. To him, it's not so much about being soft-spoken, it's about honoring your promises. He's made a promise to his team, a promise to his country. He said, "I will keep this belt." And while that may sound arrogant on paper, it's really not, because he doesn't just rest on that promise. He trains to earn it every single day. Win, lose, or draw, to him, the worst case scenario is that he walks out of that octagon feeling like he could have given a little bit more. This gave me a new perspective. To be humble is to know that you're not the god that all of your fans and supporters maybe believe you are. Rather, you are what you do, and you can be great, and still share that greatness with the people who believed in you long before you ever proved it. But you have to earn it every day. That's real humility.
You have to be willing to die when you get in there. That's true. You have to. But that's a minimum requirement. The harder part here is, can you kill a man when you have to? Yes, I can. So I'm willing to die and I'm willing to take
that?
a life.
I mean,
I
actually
know
believe it in your
that.
mind. Yeah, you know that.
I know that. Me as a modern day gladiator has to ask myself, am I still willing to die? Absolutely, that's easy. It's, are you willing to kill a man in front of his family? Yes, I am. And that's why I'm the world champion. Because I say yes to that answer, that question every single time.
Jeez, that was a little intense. For whatever reason, we've always romanticized the idea of dying for something. It's like the poetic end to the story, the ultimate price. But Dricus totally flips this idea on its head. He says that it's easy to be willing to die for something. And actually, this is very commonly said by other fighters, that they're willing to die.
You want to see a guy who's willing to die in that octagon? I think that's Tony and I.
And I said, "You're not going to beat me. I'm prepared to die."
And I'm willing to die to beat you. Because as I've said many times, you don't deserve this. I will die to beat you on April 23rd.
All right. Be prepared to do that.
But being willing to kill and to live with that burden is a whole other thing. Now, the takeaway from this is not to be willing to kill or to use violence as a mean to achieve your goals. Fighting is an extreme example. And for the record, no one has ever died in the octagon. Can't say the same for boxing. But the point is this: many people are willing to die for their dream. But to be the best, you have to be willing to go to places that others aren't willing to go, and to live with those consequences. That clip rattled me and gave me goosebumps, but not because I think that Dricus is bloodthirsty, but because he reframed what total commitment looks like. Others are willing to die for greatness, but Dricus is willing to do whatever it takes. And in his own words, that's why he's the world champion. Now, what I find so fascinating about Dricus du Plessis isn't just his accomplishments as a modern-day gladiator. It's his understanding of himself and his ability to communicate it clearly. He knows what he thrives on. He knows how to carry self-belief without it becoming self-hype. And he knows that greatness doesn't come from dying from something. It comes from living up to it. And that mindset you can take into any arena. And real greatness isn't just about rising, it's about enduring. Which actually reminds me of something that I talked about in my last video about the dip. The dip is that brutal stretch of any endeavor where the excitement's gone, the results haven't shown up yet, and most people tend to give up. But what if that's the moment you're supposed to push through? If you've ever been stuck in that in-between space, go watch that one next.